So picture this. You're sitting at your own birthday dinner, candles on the cake, your whole family around the table, and your mom looks at you, dead in the eyes, and says, "We never actually wanted you. You were a financial decision." 25 years. 25 years I spent thinking I was loved. Turns out I was just profitable. Before I get into this whole mess, if stories like this hit you right in the gut, real stories, real betrayals, real consequences, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I drop these every single week, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming. My name's Jenna, and for 25 years, I thought I had a pretty normal life. Nothing fancy, we weren't rich, but we weren't struggling either. My parents, Greg and Diane, they were the kind of people who smiled in church on Sundays and kept their lawn perfectly trimmed. You know the type. Growing up, things were fine. Like, not warm, not cold, just fine. My mom wasn't the hugging type. My dad was more interested in his spreadsheets than my school plays. But I thought that was just how some families worked, right? I had an older brother, Kyle, golden child, football scholarship, could do no wrong. And me, I was just there, the quiet one, the afterthought. But I told myself, they love me, they just show it differently. So my 25th birthday rolls around. I just landed my first real job, marketing coordinator at a tech company downtown. I was proud of myself, honestly. First in my family to get a degree without anyone's help. My parents said they wanted to take me out to dinner, like a nice dinner. I'm talking cloth napkins, candles, the whole deal. I was actually surprised. They'd never done anything like that before. Kyle was there, his girlfriend too, my Aunt Linda, even my grandma drove in from 2 hours away. I thought, wow, they actually care. We ordered, the food came, everyone was being weirdly nice, like too nice. My mom even said, "We're so proud of you, Jenna." And I swear, in 25 years, I had never heard those words from her mouth. That's when the alarm bells should have gone off, but I was too busy being happy for once. And then my dad put down his fork, cleared his throat, and said something that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. He goes, "Jenna, there's something your mother and I have wanted to tell you for a long time." The table went quiet. Not normal quiet, like graveyard quiet. My mom reached into her purse and pulled out this old manila envelope, slid it across the table like it was a business deal. She didn't even look at me when she said, "You need to know the truth about why we had you." I laughed, nervous laugh, like, what are you talking about? My dad leaned in and said, and I quote, "When we had Kyle, we were in a bad spot financially. Your mother and I realized that having a second child would qualify us for certain tax credits and government benefits that we desperately needed." I just sat there, fork still in my hand, birthday cake 3 feet away, and this man, my father, was telling me I was born as a tax write-off. My mom added, real casual like, "It wasn't personal, sweetie. We just needed the numbers to work." Not personal? Ma'am, I am a person. But wait, it gets so much worse, because what was inside that envelope, that's where this whole thing unravels. I opened it. Inside was a photocopy of my birth certificate, except it had notes written in the margins, like handwritten notes, in my dad's handwriting. It listed dates, dollar amounts, benefit timelines, like child credit kicks in May, healthcare coverage add dependent by June, second child deduction $4,200 per year. They literally mapped out the financial return on having me before I was even born. I wasn't planned out of love, I was planned on a spreadsheet. My brother Kyle, he just sat there, wouldn't even look at me. And you know what he finally said? "You mean I kinda always knew?" Kinda always knew? So everyone at this table was in on the joke except me? My Aunt Linda started crying. My grandma grabbed her purse and said, and this is real, she said, "I told you this would come back to haunt you, Diane." So Grandma knew too. The only person who didn't know her life was a financial strategy was me. I stood up, didn't yell, didn't cry. I just looked at both of them and said, "Thank you for dinner, and thank you for finally being honest." And I walked out, on my own birthday, heels clicking on that restaurant floor. No cake, no candles, just the truth hanging in the air like smoke. The next few weeks were brutal. My phone was blowing up. Mom kept texting things like, "You're overreacting," and "We still love you, this doesn't change anything." Dad sent me a long email, and I kid you not, it was literally formatted like a business letter. Subject line, "Regarding our conversation." But here's the thing nobody expected. Grandma, she called me privately, and she told me something that flipped this whole story upside down. She said, "Jenna, they didn't just use you for tax benefits. They used your name to open credit accounts when you were 3 years old. I told them to stop. They didn't listen." Yeah, let that sink in. They didn't just plan me for money, they used me for money. My entire credit history, wrecked before I could even spell my own name. I pulled my credit report the next morning. 7 accounts I'd never opened, collections, defaults, all under my social security number, opened between the years I was 3 and 9. I didn't scream, I didn't beg, I hired a lawyer, filed for identity theft, named both parents, got everything documented. And here's the kicker. I didn't warn them. They found out when they got served, at church on a Sunday, in front of the whole congregation. Poetic, right? My mom called me sobbing. "How could you do this to your own family?" And I said, real calm, "You did this to your own daughter. I'm just filing the paperwork." Kyle tried to play peacemaker. "Come on, Jenna, they're still your parents." And I told him straight up, "They're my parents on paper. That's about it." Within 3 months, the courts cleared my credit. My parents were ordered to pay restitution. And me? I moved to a new city, new job, new apartment with my name and only my name on the lease. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Some people will tell you that blood is thicker than water, and maybe it is, but blood can also be toxic. If someone, anyone, is using you, and they've been using you your whole life, you don't owe them loyalty. You don't owe them silence. You owe yourself the truth. And then you owe yourself a fresh start. I'm 26 now. I talk to my grandma every Sunday. I got a cat named Biscuit. And for the first time in my life, I know that the people around me chose to be there. Not because of what I'm worth on a tax form, but because of who I am. If this story hit home for you, or if you know someone who needs to hear this, smash that like button, share this with a friend, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and tap that bell icon so you never miss a story. I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong. Yellow.